Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of ChaiNet, the agentic commerce podcast exploring how brands are building in an AI world. My guest today spent a decade in banking, in defense technology, and political consulting, including running communications for the Punjab Chief Minister. Then his German Shepherd got sick eating food that was supposed to be premium, and he walked away from everything to figure out what actually belongs in a pet bowl. That decision today became BLEP Pet Food, a D2C brand that has now delivered over a million meals to 25,000 pet parents across India. With a very small team, they have an almost 87%, if I'm not wrong, repeat purchase rate, which is unheard of in the industry. So let's welcome Ravi Rathi to ChaiNet.
Hi,
Hello,
Rachit.
Ravi.
Thank you for the kind feedback and for having me.
No, it's my pleasure, Ravi. Thank you so much for giving us and giving me and our listeners your time today. So let's start, Ravi. If you could give a small introduction of yourself, maybe something that I've missed.
So I think my proud introduction is what you mentioned. I'm the founder of BLEP Pet Food. We
Right.
make probably the best quality food in the country. Uh, we are a small team, as you said. Our endeavor is to be extremely transparent and truthful to pet parents, feed the quality of food that not just my dog, that you and I would normally eat. Dogs and cats are increasingly the child of the house, and we
Of
don't
course, they
compromise on
are.
the quality of what we feed them. So that, in short, is what we are trying to do here.
Amazing. No, I think that's a very good, bold, and also a difficult mission. We'll get down to, the details about it. But let's go back to the start, right? So
Yeah.
tell me a bit about the, what were you doing before that incident with Max?
So probably I would typically get classified as a jack of all trades. So I
Right.
did my economics honors from Delhi University, did my MBA from Goa Institute of Management. Started my career with Citibank, then one digital marketing startup called Lead Formix. And then
Mm-hmm.
for 6 years, I was working with this company called iPack. Post that, for a year, I was working with public policy consulting firm
Right.
Chase. So broadly, been to different industries, and in between also
Right.
for 3 years I was working with Tata Advanced Systems,
Oh
which was
wow! All
plain
around.
manufacturing unit. So you banking,
Right.
digital marketing, manufacturing, sort of marketing slash people management in IPAC, to trying to consulting. So broadly, that has been my profile.
Amazing,
जी.
amazing. Wow, ये तो मतलब सब जगह हो गया, right? You've been digital, you've learned digital marketing, you've learned consulting, you've learned that's super. But I think eventually, as a founder, you have to do everything. So you were always training for where you are today.
I agree.
But yes.
And say to many people around me that probably I was being
Hmm.
trained to start something of my own.
Yes, of
So that was
course.
also one of the reasons
Right.
why we started. So yeah,
100%. Yeah, I think kahin na kahin, somewhere or the other, the universe, forces you into a certain direction, and then
yeah,
everything aligns. And then you're like, Acha, this is why that XYZ thing happened 5 years ago because we
agree.
had to land here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about the moment with Max. You said that, Max was not well. For our listeners, Max is Ravi's German Shepherd who um, became the inspiration to start this company. And then you said you went to the vet, and then finally, because of that, you started reading ingredient labels. You started understanding what goes in the pet food.
Yeah.
So take us back to that moment.
So I come from a household. So last 24, 25 years, we have had dogs at our place.
Right.
And Max is the fourth one at our place.
Mm-hmm.
We have been very jittery around his health, because losing a dog is probably the biggest heartache that a person
Of
can
course.
experience.
Yes.
So when he was just 3 years old, and he's otherwise a very goofy fellow, he's 8 today as we speak,
So cute.
and
Right.
he would still act like a small puppy, just trying to run around, playing with his squeaky toys. Always been very active. And from our side, I come from a typical veg household. My parents don't know that I eat non-veg, so that is the kind of veg household that
If
I
they
come.
see this podcast, will they get to know? Or
No,
now it's
thankfully
now it's okay.
they are not digital savvy, so it won't get
Okay.
to them.
Fair.
So COVID for my sister and me was the detox center at home, because we were
Hmm.
on pure veg diet, etc.
Right.
Uh, of course, when we since we started having dogs, my parents also made peace with the fact that okay, let's buy dog food for our dogs,
Right.
because they were not looking at it from an eye of veg, non-veg, but that
Hmm.
okay, this is dog food. Let me do my right bit by buying dog food.
Right.
Since I was working, we thought, कि ठीक है, we have a dog. Let's do the best from our end, and we were buying a premium quality food,
Right.
pricing around 9 to 10,000 a month. Uh,
Okay.
However,
Right.
Max, even though he's active, as I was saying, he
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he was eating, which we thought was the right food for him,
Right.
and
The
he
best
gained weight.
available in the market, right?
Yeah,
That's what you do, right?
yeah, and he gained weight. His
Hmm.
hind leg stopped moving, and
Oh.
he developed this problem called hip dysplasia.
Oh,
Uh,
at 3 years.
so at 3 years, usually hip
Yeah.
dysplasia happens when the dogs are older, seven
Older.
to eight.
Yes, I know. I know. Yeah.
And when we ran to vet, he said कि ठीक है, just एक तो try getting his weight in control, and for lifelong
Hmm.
he would be on these mobility medicines. The
Okay.
medicines were nothing but which can lubricate the joint, so the pain is
Hmm.
lesser, etc. So it is, he said,
Right.
that it is about pain management.
Hmm.
But my question remained very simple: that we were buying the best food, then why should this happen?
Hmm.
The He is probably the fittest Rathi in the household, so that's what I call him. And he runs
Right.
around, he's doing all the right things, there are no
Right.
whys that he is indulging in, so why
Hmm.
would he gain weight? And
Right.
that's when the curiosity started, because I think otherwise, and I really believe it, that we Indians are very trusting of any expert advice that might come our way. We
Hmm.
typically don't have a habit of questioning कि अरे doctor ने आप, why did you write this medicine versus this, or why
Right.
someone, an expert, suggesting this food versus that food. We typically
Correct.
take people on. That was my behavior as well. But when we flipped the back of the pack, started reading all the ingredients, started reading around the diseases amongst dogs and cats. So the one trivia being that 1 in 2 dogs are likely to get cancer over the age of 10. So this is a very
Oh,
startling stats. Of course,
okay.
most of these studies have been done in the West,
Right.
because they are far more developed in terms of their research and also the kind of money that they have.
Right.
But 1 in 2 dogs, 33% cats
Wow.
are prone to diabetes. These stats are wilder than what we face as human beings, and our
Right.
lifestyle is crude. Theirs is not.
Yes,
We
of course.
choose a lot of crap to eat, and I do actively, but they don't.
All of
And
us do now, I think.
yeah,
Right.
and why should they have such diseases if the food is right, or if
Hmm.
they're getting ample exercise? So these were the basic questions that came my way. Of
Right.
course, when we flipped the pack, started reading, thankfully we are in a day and age where Google has answered to most queries. We realized that yes, the ingredients are a question mark. The process via which this is being made, so anything which is heated at around 250, 200 to 300 degrees centigrade is a question mark, which is why people would
Hmm.
say don't eat a lot of high fried things apart from the
Correct.
oil,
Yes.
etc. But their food is made in that way. Their food is held together, all the ingredients, by starch. Starch is
Hmm.
summation of simple glucose, which essentially means, in a way, it is like having sugar for them.
Sugar, yeah. And as it is, we say that sugar is any
Is
form
bad
sugar
for
is
dogs and
harmful for
cats,
them. Yes.
but starch is the primary ingredient in their food. Uh,
Hmm.
Dog food or cat food can even contain diseased animals. I mean, I can go on, but these
Hmm.
were the problems that we identified. And when we looked around, I in last 10 years, I have seen a lot of change in pet adoption. I mean, most of us have. Post COVID, it has increased. Dogs and cats are no longer
Yes.
confined to the balconies or the driveways of the house. They are inside. I mean, I'm not allowed to step in certain corners, but Max will have a free run to go everywhere. They are on the
Right.
sofa, they are on the bed, so they are like children. And then we saw, why would
Of
anyone
course.
pay for substandard food and not pay for quality? We saw a big gap in the quality food, and that's why we started, or we thought of starting Blip.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is solid. And this was which year, if I may ask again?
So all these thoughts came in 2022. Uh,
Okay.
April
Right.
2023 was, in fact, April 2022 was the last month of me working and getting salary. And then April,
Okay.
December end is when we perfected the recipes. It was all
Hmm.
in our house, without my parents knowing, of course,
Oh
because they
wow. Wow.
otherwise and eat in the same house where
Yes.
the non-veg is being made. We
Oh
sampled
God,
with
yes. I did not even think about that. Yeah, like non-veg being recipes being perfected in a
yes,
vegetarian household. Wow.
yes.
How did you even manage that?
I think eventually in the name of Max, I was given a
They
free ticket
think they
to
were right.
experiment with food.
Yes.
We
Right.
started feeding Max. His health got better. In fact, I'm
Oh
very
wow.
happy to share that even at 8, he's not on mobility medicines.
Oh,
Uh,
lovely, lovely.
his weight
Which
is
they
controlled.
at year three they said that he'll have to take them lifelong.
Yes, and they said it will be
Wow.
lifelong medications for, and it
Hmm.
might relapse. There would be
Hmm.
painful. These painful chapters will increase with every passing
Right.
year. So thankfully, that has not happened. So
Hmm.
we first impressed him, then went to our
Hmm.
network, an extended network of 300, 400 dogs.
Right.
Fed those 400 dogs only when people came with a chest thumping. Yes, we got our confidence to start BLEP.
Hmm.
So broadly,
Amazing.
this happened
Amazing.
till February of 2023, and March is when we started full fledged.
Actually started right. So with from Max to that 300 network of parents, like how did you guys like graduate to that? Like how did you find that network? Like were you already part of a network? Like how like what was your 0 to 1?
I think I'll give due credit to my wife, Soumya. One of my achievements in life being I married right. So,
Right.
so
Yeah. No, that's very important. I think it's our we're founders in general need to marry right. And honestly, with when I was dating my now wife,
yeah,
she had a list of things. Right. She had a checklist that okay, this is what I want in my if I want to get married, and this that. And I only had one thing that okay, I'm an entrepreneur. Choppy times ahead. Are you ready for it? And she said, yeah, I'll be ready for it. Now, although she regrets it sometimes when we don't have any money, but
so I married.
but
In
yeah,
fact, I give half credit to Max and half to Soumya for starting BLEP.
right.
She is one of the co-founders of Clovia. She has done well in her career,
Hmm.
and so she knew a lot of people. So I
Right,
piggybanked on her,
right.
and there were certain groups that she was a part of which had a lot of founders. So she dropped
Amazing.
messages on our behalf if someone would
Hmm.
be willing to try or give it a go. I think
Right,
that did help us to get those 300, 400 names. Otherwise, it would have been difficult. And
right.
the initial batch was prepared in our kitchen. We got it retorted for shelf life. And
Hmm.
then with a handwritten letter, we shipped out ourselves to 400 people. So the 0 to 1 was that. And
Hmm.
we one floated one Google form, then of course followed up with people for feedback. And
Right.
I think in a way we were right place, right time, because people did come with a lot of questions, a lot of enthusiasm that would you
Correct.
make this if we buy. And I
Hmm.
think that became the starting point. In a way, we started with 50, 100 fixed customers when we started in the month of March because
Right.
of this sampling exercise.
Correct. Correct. Oh, amazing. Yeah. And then from those 50 customers, then from word of mouth, you got more, and that's how
Some
it
word
grew.
of mouth, some marketing. I'll give credit to
Right.
both. So yeah, we
Right.
have approximately 30,000 people have bought at least once from Blip, and this is the
Oh wow.
website number. The quick commerce and e-commerce would be separate.
Is different, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's solid. And you were before your first round, you were mostly bootstrapped, right? Like if I'm right, you were bootstrapped for almost 3 years. 3 years, and you said that April was the last time you got your salary.
Yeah,
So how I know as a founder, you need to do a lot of things to
yeah,
keep the salaries going, to keep the lights on in the business, right?
yeah.
In your case, what if you look back now, like what was one thing, what was the ugliest thing you had to do in your business to make sure that you guys keep?
I am otherwise a very shy person. So I mean, I'll if you'll meet me
Mhm.
once in a physical space, I'll say hi, very meek hi, hello. Probably second, third time you would see a different side of me because then I would have opened up, I would have developed my comfort.
Right,
And
right. I think
one
I'm
of
also like that. I'm also an
yeah,
introvert by design.
yes. So one of my friend told me that gulp down your ego, or ego
Hmm.
is possibly a negative way. बट अगर किसी को भी लगता है कि जर्नी की शुरुआत में यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट देन दैट डजंट हैपन सो आई थिंक आई विल नॉट से अगली बट
Absolutely.
द डिफिकल्ट थिंग हैज बीन टू जस्ट डाइजेस्ट व्हाटएवर आयोटा self respect bolo ya ego bolo at times, particularly in a bootstrapped manner, because
Hmm.
you will have to go to vendors, you will have to negotiate, and most of the time negotiation doesn't happen that you have a heavy hand on the table. Most of the time it would
Right.
be the requests. Typically I am not a person who have delved into making such requests, so possibly that was
Right.
difficult. I won't call it ugly, but yes, request. And I
Difficult.
think
Yes.
second, I think we are in the customer, our primary job end of the day is customer should be happy.
Of
A
course.
good
Yes.
product is a good starting point, but that doesn't solve the entire problem. Up for the customer, if the express bees guys or say delivery etc any courier guys misbehaves, so that is blip misbehaving with them.
Hmm. Right.
And some customers, and maybe rightly so, can come down heavily. So
Of
end of the
course.
day,
Yes.
self-respect has to just be gulped down. You look at the entire thing. I think that has been the one thing which I've learned a lot in last 3 years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
Ji.
absolutely correct. And you're omni-channel, right? You
Yes.
sell through your own website, through Amazon, Flipkart,
Yeah.
even like Instamart. Now, I'm sure each channels has its own nuances, right?
Yeah.
Uh, in general, what have these channels, what have you learned from being omni-channel? What are the differences selling through your own website versus
Yeah.
Amazon versus quick commerce, let's say?
Okay. See, omni-channel is, I mean, that is not the specific, is the need of the hour, because
Mm-hmm.
any new customer, uh, say for example, they saw an ad on Meta.
Right,
They for the first time are seeing the ad. They might not feel very comfortable ordering from BLEP. But if BLEP was
correct,
available on Amazon, Zepto, Blinkit, Swiggy, then
right,
that lends that much more credibility to the brand. That, okay, I mean, I'm not dealing with just BLEP here, I'm dealing with Amazon and BLEP. That
correct,
gives the comfort, which is why for the first time users, particularly, it is important to be across channels.
right.
In terms of what are the what would be the learnings, दो तीन हैं primarily. uh, Particularly for quick commerce, it is all about distribution. uh, if you My availability will have a bigger impact on sale than my marketing budget.
Hmm.
So on quick commerce, if you have winners up your sleeves which are selling well, then you
Right.
need to ensure that the distribution is there. You need to ensure that you can continuously and in a timely manner fulfill those POs that come your way.
Hmm.
Uh, that is on quick commerce. On Amazon, again, it is also distribution, but Amazon the
Right.
replication is via the warehouses that Amazon has. So
Right.
once you do that, because everyone is competing for delivering within next minute if they may,
Yes.
then you need to be where your customer is. And I think
Hmm.
that's what quick commerce has done beautifully for each one of us. And I think
Right.
for new brands, they're also creating a level playing field for us. अगर
They
मुझे
are okay.
100 shops में budget, I
Hmm.
would need that much working capital, I would need that much
Hmm.
power, I would need
Right.
that much people to manage. I'll need distributor, I'll need collection agents
Of
for money
course.
collection to happen. So I think in a way, quick commerce is democratizing the entire thing for newer brands.
Hmm.
It's a level playing field, just like वो EVs or ICE engine that even new companies
Hmm.
can now think of building a car or a
Right.
scooter or an Activa.
Correct.
So that has been a good bit. Of course, it comes with one flip side that any new channel needs certain amount of investment,
Hmm.
both in terms of one, you will have to make people aware that hey, I'm on Blinkit. uh,
Correct.
that would need some marketing. Second, of course, your working capital will increase. For
Hmm.
the website, we are highly optimized. Our working capital will be 15 days. uh,
Right.
Inventory turnover is 15 days. But
Correct.
if I want to be on Zepto, Blinkit, and even Amazon, क्योंकि transit time ही हो जाएगा 2 to 3
Hmm.
weeks
Of
from mine
course.
to their warehouse, dark
Yes.
store. So
Right.
at least there is a pile up of 2 to 3 months of inventory.
Hmm.
So that is the challenge to be managed, but I think it adds a lot of credibility to any new.
Hmm. Fair. I think yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quick commerce in general. Yeah. Like if you
Ji.
have that working capital, then you can spread really fast, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it builds your trust for
Yeah.
100%. In general, in the industry, right? I think 2022, when you started thinking about it, it was very new. People were still I don't think people are reading ingredients at that time, even for what we were consuming, right? Let alone pet food.
Yeah.
It was then when the food farmer thing happened, and everyone started reading ingredients, started understanding. And I'm sure it's happened now to the pet food industry as well. Now it started getting crowded, right? Right, Reliance is coming in, Godrej is coming in. Uh, do you is it like a David versus Goliath story at your end? And if yes, then what are the internal discussions when you see these brands coming in?
I think it is so. Yes, it is David versus Goliath. At the end of the day, yes, but I think it's an
Right,
era of Davids. We are living in that time where we have a lot of Davids around for even us to draw inspiration. Uh,
right,
I very frankly believe we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg. Why so? Because pet adoption, say, let's pick US, it would be around 40 to 45%. Uh, where are we in the country? We would be hovering around 7 to 8% is what our pet adoption is. Uh, it is increasing. So pet adoption is increasing by 15% CAGR every year. The interesting thing being people with more money are more likely to get a pet. So people with more spending
fair,
power are entering the market every day.
right,
Uh, the pet number of pets would double in next 5 years.
hmm,
Uh, इस पे एक और there is one more layer. 85% of people feed at home,
okay,
either
right,
for the lack of budget or for the lack of quality.
hmm,
So whatever we are seeing is actually the tip of the iceberg.
right,
In time to come, both the pets would increase, the purchasing power is increasing, the
hmm,
awareness amongst people is increasing as to what they want
right,
to feed and how they want to feed it. So I think everything would turn upside down in next 4 to 5 years, and that is what we are all
hmm,
running at. I am very
fair,
happy that these big players are coming because see, a lot
hmm,
of education is needed in the market.
right,
If you forget the new ones, there are a lot of new players, and I'm very, very happy that all of us exist and all of us are doing
hmm,
their part because it'll take a village. I mean, people say that it takes a village to raise a child. So it will take a lot of companies for this education to percolate that flip the balance.
hmm,
If you
correct,
don't understand, thankfully we have AI. Just look it up on ChatGPT. It will throw you the history, geography of everything.
right,
Then you decide whether you want to go in for the product or not.
correct,
And not just for BLEP, we would want it for everything in life. So since
hmm,
all these variables are changing, I think it's a very, very good time. According to me, the inflection point of the market would still be in 27, 28,
okay.
but
So
no
we're
one,
still 2 to 3 years away from like a major inflection point. Hmm.
yes, but you can't capture that inflection point if you don't start today.
Of course, you need to
Because
get your foot in the door much
yes,
before.
yes,
Yes.
and also particularly Rachit, because this is a category of very, very high trust.
Hmm.
The consumer behavior is very similar to that of child food.
Right.
People are very suspicious. They will not 100% believe what you are saying. They would look up. They would try to understand ki kya hai.
Right.
They might have a pain point. They might have questions. Those needs to be catered to. So I
Hmm.
think right time to start, and very happy that the even the bigger players are entering.
Hmm. Yeah, I think eventually, yeah, education, bigger players help with education for
Yep.
sure, right? Like they
Yep.
they would help that. Okay, how is the market? What is it about other brands which
Yep.
are which need to be fixed. So yeah, fair enough. There are some comments. There's a comment from him, Narayan. He's saying that it's super stuff. There's another comment from Himanshu. Let me put it down. So Himanshu is saying, "Great stuff, Ravi. Best wishes for future growth." Uh, Thank you, Himanshu. Kirti is asking about your repeat purchase rate. That what is the
Yep.
secret? I think you've already. She's saying 87% repeat purchase rate. What's the secret? Did you find a way to make the dogs themselves log into the app and hit the
I wish we could do that. So our boxes are blue, so that because blue is one of the prominent colors that dogs and cats register.
right?
Our intent is yes that they should log in and reorder themselves. We would have no dearth
right.
of orders then. I think it's end of the day just being. I, I don't think there is a playbook. I think whatever we we are doing and what we decide to do, we'll just remain 100% truthful to it.
Right.
I think that might be the reason. I don't know. I
Hmm.
hope it continues. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I think, yeah, I think being truthful is one of the biggest advantages you can have, right? Like, and being that from day one and having nothing to hide. These days, in fact, we talking about labels, but the other day I was reading about this, that even there are brands who are even lying on the labels, which is technically illegal, right? They're putting something in the product which is, and they're not putting it in the labels, right? And
Yeah.
that's happening to a lot of healthy food brands as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you
Rachit,
can lie as
one
a
very
brand.
interesting thing is
Hmm.
there are no regulations in pet food.
Oh
So
wow, okay.
technically, pet food is classified as fodder. So whatever regulations exist
Hmm.
for chara ya ghas
Oh
would
God.
exist for dog food, which means there is nothing. But
Hmm.
the idea being that we are not building for today, as I'm
Hmm.
saying, we are building for 28, 29, 2030.
Right.
And I'm sure
Correct.
regulations would come in soon. So which is why we get a food tested at Equinox Lab, जहाँ पे whole truth भी test कराता है.
Hmm.
The idea being that we will set up our parameters of quality so high, then
Right.
we would hold ourselves accountable to that. So that's
Hmm.
what we are trying to do.
That's solid. That's solid. And yeah, I think whole truth. So I think I am a big fan. I think I exist on these bars over here, so that it's happy to know that you're also actually getting tested
जी.
from there. That's solid. So because up 12% team, 2 million packets. Kahin na kahin, I'm sure you're optimizing, and there's a lot of there are a lot of processes optimization going on, and there is I'm sure there is a mix of AI. So आज की date पे where do you use AI for your daily ops, or in your life or in your business life?
I get a lot of ideas from AI. So
Oh wow.
just ask ChatGPT to act as an expert in different domains, and a lot of
Right.
eye-opening stats are thrown. In terms of where we are using AI actively, I think in customer query management, AI, I think, have a big role to play, and
Right.
even more in time to come. Second, of course, like most brands would use in just drafting the base strategy right from your social to communication.
Right.
AI have an important role to play. In fact, abhi to I've gone Nano Banana Pro, and
Oh right.
and we will soon launch supplements in the month of March for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy to share the credit that 80% of that design happened by Nano Banana Pro.
Nano banana pro. Oh wow. Amazing.
The world is changing, things are happening way
Yes.
faster.
Hmm.
And if you question the result of Gemini or ChatGPT enough number of times, they end up throwing the truth also eventually. So,
Right.
so that needs to be done. But I think it's a very different world to what we're looking at, and I'm very particularly happy about it because, uh,
Hmm.
see, I can put in 10 ingredients and ask these tools, what are they? Are they good for me and my dog?
Hmm.
And I'll
Correct.
immediately get a lot of information. And
Right.
if I just question again, are you sure? Then it is
Hmm.
bound to give me the right answer also.
Hmm.
So I think there's a big role of AI, and particularly in time to come, we will end up doing things faster. That's how I
Right.
look at it, and faster and better.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's how we are also looking at AI solutions.
Yeah, I think fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. So for customer support, is there any recommendation for solutions that you guys have tried and they work like a charm?
Still in the process. I would definitely ping you once we have our final verdict. But
Absolutely.
the idea being that, and I jokingly to say to my team, if my chat
Right.
GPT could speak to all the users, because I think I've loaded so much of
Right.
data on it in last 2 years, that there would be complete transparency. There would be people who would get everything that they need, and also what we are
Right.
about to launch in time to come. So the idea being, what
Correct.
I could activate my chat GPT and give access to everyone. So that is what we
I
will work.
think, although yeah, you're very transparent, but honestly, I feel if you tell 99% of the people or
Yeah,
founders that
yeah.
can we take your GPT and give it to the customers, they will get the shock of their life. They'll be like, no, please, the company will shut down. There's so many secrets. But and forget founders. Even I think. Even if I talk to my wife, I have her all her credentials. I have access to her phone. Chat GPT is the only thing. She said, you cannot use that. You use your own Chat GPT. I don't care.
Yeah. My wife calls ChatGPT Chudel, so I can understand.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, amazing. How Ravi, we've already been talking for 40 minutes and or I think 45 minutes, and yeah, it's been amazing. I have some last questions for you.
जी,
They're mostly focused on on new people trying to launch, and
yep.
our founder friends who are listening to this podcast today. So tell me one thing which which that you now know you did which you did not know when you were starting in for the D2C space,
Yep.
for a founder who's building in India, which they should learn before they fundraise.
Okay. Uh, I might sound a little optimistic or preachy in this one. I think
Hmm.
I'm trying to learn, but I'm just sharing my advice
Right.
and what probably people shared, which I found very, very impactful. See,
Hmm.
anyone who is about to go on that journey of fundraise, I mean, you're bound to get a lot of no's. The number of yes would be far less than the number of no's. That is the inherent
Right.
design of the system.
Correct.
But I think अगर आप 100 लोगों को pitch करो, you just need one to say yes.
Correct.
So you just keep working diligently to find that one yes. If there is a D2C brand, and even if you build it on a capital efficiency of say 5, let's
Right.
assume, and you
Hmm.
want to achieve a revenue of 500, so you need a total
Right.
investment of 100 CR. 100 CR,
Correct.
I think, दो तीन लोगों से आ जाएगा. A fund will come, then the fund would invest,
Hmm.
then one more fund is to be person. So
Right.
I think the entire focus has to be on execution and doing right by the customers and what we are trying to do. Be open to
Hmm.
feedback. Uh, and be open to ignore feedback also. I think at end of the
Hmm.
day you will also learn that art, but you just need to find those 3 to 4 people. With the initial no's, i I have never lost my interest in the another pitch because yesterday someone said no,
Hmm.
because the game
Right.
is I need just 4 people to side by me to for BLEP to become a 1000 CR revenue brand,
Right.
and that's how small the target is, and it'll happen to everyone, so nothing to worry.
Right. So for
Yeah,
fundraise, stay persistent and
yeah,
keep doing
yeah,
keep building on that. Yes, I think
yeah.
that is solid advice. Yeah. And
Yeah.
apart from fundraise, in execution, in a general general life of a founder, if someone wants to take a plunge, who's right now in the early stages or the late stages of their career, and now they want to take a plunge in their in their journey as a founder, is there some advice which you
I had spent possibly 8 months trying to perfect the 3 recipes that we initially rolled out: chicken pumpkin, chicken
right.
broccoli, chicken zucchini. And those 3 recipes today also contribute 60% of the revenue uh, every month.
Okay.
So it's not about having 100 different solutions, but I mean, I genuinely believe this, and maybe we are a little slow in releasing the new products. Maybe we should roll out new products more. The jury is still out to evaluate us, but I feel the product should be good. Of course, 10 में से 2
Right.
miss होंगे या 3 miss होंगे, that is okay. And
Correct.
most of those misses we might not be able to control. Those, I mean, there might be external factors to it, but वो जो 5-6 products हैं, they should be very very strong, because
Hmm.
otherwise everything else will end up being a variable in life, and you can control everything. If you have a good product, then I think rest will get solved with diligence and transparency.
Very interesting. That's very good advice, and also also a little counterintuitive, or I would say there are a lot of people now in the industry who've been advising younger founders to just start. Right? Don't think so much, just start. But yeah, your advice is a little counterintuitive, and I think it's good for for people who are dealing with food or even pet food, or
Yeah, yeah,
something which has higher impacts on health versus, let's say, fashion, that you have to work on your product, for you
yeah,
have to be very confident in your product, because everything else, as you said, is a variable and it will change.
yeah.
And yeah, if you have a
And as
solid
I said,
product, then
otherwise we are shy people. So अगर product भी
hmm.
हिली होगी, तो I will not get the confidence to say.
Correct, correct,
So
correct,
yes,
yes.
it is person specific, and I do remember the Top Gun dialogue where uh, Tom Cruise turns and says, "I'll fly when I'm goddamn ready to." So I think I believe in that, and hence मेरे
Right.
लिए वो बहुत important है कि
Yes.
otherwise I'll lose my confidence.
Amazing. Great, Ravi. Thank you so much for your time. For all our listeners, that was Ravi Rathi. He's the founder of BLEP Foods, and They've done 2 million packets of food, and with a 12-member team, which is nothing sort of amazing, and with almost a 90% retention rate. They're doing something wonderful in the in the pet food space. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you,
For all
Rachit.
our listeners, this was ChaiNet, and I am Rachit Magon, your host.
Thank you,
Until
everyone.
next time. Yes.